Welcome back, friends. We are doing beer brats on the griddle in a foil pan that is way too small, obviously. I'm too stubborn at this point to change it, but you'll see later on I do as I put the onions in there. I can only get like 1.5 cans of beer when it's supposed to call for 2, so I had to drink the other half, and I didn't even want to, because then I had to drink the rest of the 6-pack. But anyways, I put a pepper in there, then a little bit of red pepper flake going in there, and then we'll follow that up with some salt and garlic. This recipe is from All Recipes. I will link it in the description. Very easy, very good. Was happy with how it turned out. Boom, bigger pan. I finally admitted to myself I was wrong. Went inside, got the right size pan. Griddle on the right side, we're at medium to about 450. Left side was 400 at low. Putting down the bacon. The right side, we're trying to get those brats boiling. They're going to be on there for a while, and we want them to start cooking in the beer and the onions. The bacon I chopped up, that's going to go with some red potatoes. So I'm just separating out the little pieces before I put down the red potatoes for kind of a German potato salad on the griddle. I guess you could call it that. It's not technically a German potato salad, but similar ingredients with the bacon, the potatoes, and some sugar and vinegar. Once they get enough grease release, boom, here comes the potatoes from the microwave where I steamed them in some water in my steamer. You don't have to do this. You can just dice them and put them on fresh. I like to steam them a little bit. I feel like it softens them up on the inside, and then I can still get a great color on the outside as I now just coat them in as much of that bacon grease as possible. I just want every potato covered in bacon grease, then I'll spread them out thin again to get color on each side of the potato. The brats are bubbling. You can see I poked them with a fork, just a little FYI, so that they could get more of the juices inside the brats and the onions and that mixture. Oh, it looks so good. So the best part about this recipe is you could easily double or triple it. Here's the star of the show though. Pepperidge Farm split top buns. If you've seen my hot dog video, I love using these things because you can toast them. They're like New England style buns. I got family from that area, my dad's side, so we've always had these at family gatherings, and they're just the best for toasting for hot dogs, brats, sausages. I'd highly recommend them, and this is why. Look at that color. You can use butter or mayo, but I think I use butter in this cook, and it's just flip them over for the other side. Definitely give them a try. Split top buns. Our potatoes are starting to get a nice color. Look at that. So we'll go ahead and keep moving them around. Try to get all sides coated and touching the griddle to get hot. Now we're bubbling. Now we're boiling. These brats are looking good. And there's some perogies. Mrs. T, that must be Mr. T's wife. Pity the fool who don't use these perogies. All right, that's enough of that. And we're going to put those down on the griddle with some oil. Probably would have been better with some butter, but I just had oil. They said you could do these in a pan with a lid. I figured, well, if you can do it in a pan with a lid, you can do it on the griddle. So I just threw them down a couple minutes per each side and covered them eventually. We're going to bring the brats out to start finish cooking them and to get a little good color on those from the griddle. And we're going to bring some of those onions out to saute them up. I mean, they've just been sitting there bubbling in that beer. Such a great, this recipe just screams fall and football to me. Tailgate, having a bunch of people over, you could easily double or triple it. There goes some more onions, yeah. Cover it with a dome. I didn't need to put the brats under the dome, I just did because they're next to the pierogies. So we'll see how everything turns out here. Take the dome off. Hopefully we got a little bit of good color on our brats. And yes, we are starting to get what we want here as we just keep flipping them. And this made, it made a lot of food just for 2 of us. My wife and I had enough for a couple days. The pierogies started to get a good color. I'd say I did like 3-4 minutes per side. I was very happy with how they turned out. Very surprised. Same thing when I did egg rolls on the griddle. Very surprised. They weren't like the best I've ever had, but they were a lot better than I thought. So I at least am confident enough to tell you to try it. I think you'll enjoy them. Now back to the potatoes. We're going to put down a little bit of pepper. Follow that up with some sugar. And then we'll do a splash of vinegar, which kind of just evaporated off, it felt like. I didn't really taste that much of the vinegar like you would in a traditional German potato salad, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it, and a little different thing to do with the potatoes. I don't know why I have the tongs instead of 2 spatulas. I just ignore that. Just pretend I have 2 spatulas like a normal griddle person. So we'll flip them, mix it all together, push it over to the side by the buns. Get yourself a warming rack for like I have those buns there. I'll put one in the description for my Amazon store. It comes in handy. It's not too big. They're perfect. That burner's off. Buns are staying warm, but they're not cooking or getting burnt. Little tiny warming rack. I really use that a ton. So potatoes are over there warming with the buns. Everything's ready to go. We're going to come back, check on our brats and the onions and the pierogies, and start building these sandwiches. They really turned out great. You will not be disappointed if you do this recipe. If you want another great recipe, just as good, this Italian sausage recipe that I have coming up on your screen right now is fantastic. Highly recommend it. I think I'm going to go ahead and start my diet next week. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one and keep on griddling.